Good. All right, very good. Thanks everybody for being here. Let's call this meeting to order. This is the Wednesday, November the 9th, 2022 meeting of the Little Rock Parks and Recreation Commission. Thanks everybody for being here. Much appreciated. We are recording with audio and video as well, so please do keep that in mind. Also, a reminder for our virtual attendees, for those of you who are virtual, please do stay on mute, but do turn on your video for purposes of attendance tracking. I think right now I only see Lauren as our sole virtual attendee. So Lauren, thanks for complying there. Much appreciated. Let's go ahead and get started with a roll call. So turning to, I don't think I've met you. I'm sorry. Eric. Nice to meet you, Eric. All right, so roll call, please, Mr. Eric.
Commissioner Bersink. Commissioner Bowie.
Present.
Commissioner Eldridge.
I'm here.
Commissioner Ellis. Commissioner Martinez. Commissioner Smith, L. Smith. Commissioner France. Director Peck. Commissioner Fletcher.
Present.
Commissioner D. Smith. Commissioner Nassar. Commissioner Firstel. Attorney Carpenter.
Present.
Director Wright.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Eric. Much appreciated. So by my count, we have 4 commissioners present. So that means that we are not able to vote on or conducting official business. However, Counselor, with permission, will continue on and have the meeting for informational purposes only.
That would be fine.
Okay.
We cannot have a vote.
Correct. All right, very good. Knowing that we're not able to vote on anything because we do not have a quorum today, let's go ahead and follow the agenda as best we can. You were presented with the October meeting minutes before. Were there any question from the commissioners on the October meeting minutes that we needed to discuss?
Chair Bowie, I have a correction.
Okay.
The minutes on page 4, at the bottom of the page. I know we can't vote on this, approving the minutes today, but I wanted to make this correction or have this correction noted. Attorney Carpenter asked Chairman Bowie if he would like to update the commission on the Friends of the Park, and that is not going to be worked through the parks instead of Conservancy. That is not going to be worked through the Parks Commission at this point. So change Conservancy to Commission.
Thank you, Counselor, for that. That is an excellent call out. So, Angela, can we make sure that there at the bottom of that page 4 that Counselor Carpenter's correction is made that should read Parks Commission and not Parks Conservancy? Okay, very good. Any other questions or comments or potential edits that we need to address? Again, we're not able to vote on the meeting minutes, so we'll take this as advisement, and perhaps next month when we do have a quorum, we'll be able to approve the meeting minutes at that time. All right, very good. Let's move on to the next item on the agenda, citizen communication. I do not believe that we have anyone here for citizen communication today. If you are here for citizen communication, please step to the podium, but I don't see anyone here, so I think we'll move on to that, from that rather. So moving on to the next item on the agenda, staff reports. So with that, we'll turn over to Director Couch for some updates on staff reports.
Thank you. Administration, do you have a report?
Okay, at the moment, our budget is our main focus. Our department is thinking of ways to conserve and be resourceful with our remaining funds. Currently, we are slowing down or at a temporary freeze on our spending, which excludes essential needs. This is sometime done at the end of the year when allocated budgets get to a minimum, and also we'll try to prevent from our budget ending up in the negative. So that's why we do that. Currently, we're exploring, working on a workshop ideas to encourage staff to reflect on this year's past successes and lessons, and also team building, which is very important. Right now, administration, we have filled a couple of positions. We have filled our senior parks planner position with a current employee, Mr. Ron Ross, who is now our parks planner 2. We have filled our deputy director of operations position. He will start sometime this month. And also we have filled our administrative assistant 1, who it will assist our director in our administration division, Mr. Eric Mayfield. Mr. Mayfield, would you like to say a few words? And the director and I are definitely striving to fill the positions that we have. We have quite a few more to fill, but we are making progress.
Thank you very much, Ms. Angela. I appreciate that. Before we move on, I did notice that we have a couple who have joined the virtual meeting. It looks like Commissioner Ellis has joined, and there is a call-in user. I am not sure who that might be, but perhaps we can ascertain their identity here in just a moment. But even though they're a call-in user, we still have to have video for attendance purposes, correct? Let's see. We've got,
Chair Bowie, for commissioners, we will need to be able to see them and hear them. So,
okay,
yes.
perfect. All right. So I do see Samuel Ellis there. Sam, can you hear us?
Yes, I was not able to unmute until just then, so whatever you did worked.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. So let's see here. So Samuel Ellis is here. So that is 5. And we have did we have another user, another user, someone else join? Is there a call-in user? Did we have somebody else join there, Angela? I'm not seeing anyone else. Okay. All right. It looks like they may have dropped off. Okay. Well, Commissioner Ellis, thank you for being here. We've covered off on the meeting minutes and whatnot. We still only have 5 commissioners, and per bylaws, we need to have a majority here, which would mean 6. So we're still not able to conduct official business, meaning we still are not able to vote on anything at this point. Let's see here. So let's get back to the agenda. We just covered off on administrative report. So Director Couch, back to you.
Quick question.
Oh, yep.
I assume the budget's a calendar year, or is it like the
calendar
federal
year.
government where it's?
It's a calendar year, so we'll start new in January. So we just typically run a little lean towards the end of the year. And so we just try to start slowing spending down. So.
I also have a question. Angela, thanks for the update on filling positions, but maybe next month we could have a report on the number of vacant positions. I know you've been working hard to fill that throughout the year. And as we finish up the year and start a new one, I'm hopeful that we've seen a good improvement in filling those positions.
Absolutely. We'll give staff, please put that in the notes to have a full report next meeting on all of our staff and staff vacancies and what we've been able to fill over the year. And now we'll turn to recreation for a quick report.
Good afternoon. I'll be brief. The community centers consist of West Central, Dunbar, Stevens, Southwest. Currently, they're registering for our basketball program, and they'll be doing registration up until November the 22nd. So if you have a kiddo that would like to go out and play in our basketball program, please go by the community centers and get them registered. Southwest Community Center will host a health and holistic wellness expo on November the 13th, and it's from 1 to 5. And the theme is all things for a healthy and happier you. First tee, golf will have a faded roll shootout, and that's the 18-hole two-man scramble golf tournament on November the 20th, and it starts at 9 o'clock. Entry fee is $100 per team. Jim Daly will have a triathlon on November the 12th, and it's a swimming, biking, and running event. It starts at 8 a.m., and the cost is $25. The Therapeutic Recreation Division will host their first adult weekend camp overnight on November the 11th and 12th at the Camp Aldersgate for ages 18 to 35 to experience indoor and outdoor activities. MacArthur Military Museum will show the Real MASH movie on November the 15th, starting at 6:30. And if you're not busy, please go by and partake of the refreshments and things, the movie. Also, just a note, the MacArthur Park Group found out this past week that a grant request to the Trinity Foundation was approved for $25,000, and the funds will be used to pay for equipment costs associated with the MacArthur Park Unlimited Playground. So that concludes my presentation. Anybody have questions?
Okay, thank you, Shawanda. So I'll give a quick update, and then I'm going to let Mike speak briefly about our warming center effort preparing for the winter. Operations has been working on a handful of projects. One of them, they just finished a new installation of a Daisy Bates sculpture in our sculpture garden down in Riverfront Park. It's a really nice piece, and recommend everybody go down and check it out. Also, they've been finishing up a new garden shed at the Oak Forest, working with some Euler and some others there, and participating in some grants that they received to help. And so we've helped them build a new garden shed there, and we're finishing that this week. We've also just been notified from staff and from citizens that we have a failure along the Arkansas River Trail down in Murray Park along Resmond Park Road. And we're getting together with our maintenance staff and our operations staff to go and do a large effort next week, if the weather holds out, on making some repairs there along the Arkansas River Trail. And then we also have a new project coming online, which is our Dunbar Community Center garden. I said that wrong. It's actually not our community center garden. It's our community garden at Dunbar. We are installing a new entrance there and a new sculpture, which will be starting later this month, hopefully. With the Arkansas River Trail kind of put a little delay in some of our efforts, but that's our next big sculpture project. So with that, I'll give Mike a few minutes here to talk about our warming centers.
Thank you. Working with our Office of Emergency Management and the VAN, which is a homeless outreach group, last year we started offering overnight shelters for homeless when the temperature and the wind chill reached a certain level, or if there was rain or ice. So we're starting that process again. This year, the shelters, if we open it up, will be at East Little Rock Community Center. The VAN takes the lead on it, and we're basically just providing the facility. So they're staffing it. We also have park staff that'll be there, and then staff from the Office of Emergency Management and the police department are also all on hand overnight to make sure everything goes well. This year, they're looking at maybe expanding the hours. Last year we did from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. But based on some of the things that the VAN would like to do and some of the limitations we had last year that they were able to address, they're looking at maybe staying open throughout the day if it is a precipitation event, if there's rain or ice or snow. If it's simply cold, he said they can go the 7 to 7, and there's other entities that they'll be able to use. But if it's a rain or ice event, they're looking to possibly stay open in the community center throughout the day. And with our programming and things, if it was a snow and ice event, most likely we'd be closed, so we wouldn't be displacing any programming or anything like that. But we just had the initial meeting last week. There'll be some more meetings going forward to make sure that if this does come about, we're ready to go. So that's the update on that.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mike. JP, if you give us a quick update on maintenance.
We're still in the process of getting ready for winter. We're winterizing restrooms and pavilions. We're basically cleaning the corners. We're going back, catching the areas, picking up tree limbs, dead trees, trying to catch up with some of the other areas that we haven't been able to pay as much attention to while we were trying to run. We had an equipment rodeo / training out at Hyman last October 19th. And we brought people in basically from downtown and the community centers, and we demonstrated how our equipment ran, the importance of what we do, actually let them go out, train them on how to use it. So if anybody's looking bored at City Hall, they're going to get on a mower next summer. But we're going to, it was a nice event where, kind of a team building, but also kind of got a chance for my crews to demonstrate what they do and take a little pride in what they do, because most people don't see us. We're in and out in the mornings before they even know we're there. So that's kind of where we're at as far as maintenance goes right now.
All right, very good. Any further reports? No further reports. Any questions from our commissioners of our staff reports? Online, Lauren or Sam, any questions? No? All good there? Okay. Well, let's see here. Angela, Shawanda, Mike, JP, thank you guys very much for your reports. Really appreciate all your help. Eric, glad to have you on board as well. So, all right, moving on to the next section of the agenda, old business. Just quickly, last month we did welcome Ben France. He's not with us here today. We'll look forward to seeing Ben next month. Let's see, we did cover off on subcommittee reports last month. We'll talk about those here in just a minute. Any questions on what was discussed last month with regard to the ARPA and the bond funding? Any further questions on what we heard last month? No questions. Was there any follow-up that you wanted to share on that? I know you're going to be talking about that later on. So, okay. Very good. And then also last month we heard from Michael Harris, who's the Gym Daily Fitness Center supervisor. We were glad to have him, and we appreciated hearing from him. All right. Moving on to the next section of our agenda, new business. Very quickly, I did hear from Commissioner Martinez and Commissioner Brasink. They're both not here today, but neither had a significant update to perform or provide for us today. But Commissioner Smith has some comments on the master plan subcommittee. So Commissioner Smith, please.
Thank you. I wanted to first make sure that all of the commissioners have a copy of the 2020 master plan. There's extra copies up here on the front table. And I want to just call your attention to a few pages of this very comprehensive master plan as we start into ARPA and bond and future funding. This was done by an outside group to compare Little Rock to other cities of similar size. And I think it's very well done. It's designed as a 10-year plan to cover the years 2020 and through 2030 and really to provide strategic guidance. There's several pages that I would just call your attention to. Page 5.28 talks about the future of golf, tennis, and pickleball and has some strong recommendations there. Page 6.28 evaluates every park in the system. Of course, this was a point-in-time evaluation and condition assessment, but it also makes recommendations for improvement, both maintenance improvements and then capital improvements needed at those facilities. It's a good way to get a history and some background on the parks we have and what they could be if developed to each of their fullest potential. And then most important in my mind, I'm an engineer. I really like to see things laid out for a capital plan. Page 8.2 and 8.3 describe a 10-year capital plan with priority recommendations. And I think as we start through new funding sources, this is a good guidance document. So I just encourage everyone to look through it, make sure you're familiar with it. I found it very helpful.
Thank you very much for that, Commissioner Smith. Much appreciated.
Chair Bowie, we might have another commissioner join,
Okay.
Ben France.
Let's see. Ben France, is that you with us there?
Hey, I'm sorry for the tardiness and had some trouble logging in. I'm in very rural Missouri right now. So,
All right. Very good. Thank you for joining. Thank you for being here with us. Much appreciated. So let's see. Counselor, that gives us with Commissioner France here, that does give us a total of 6 here now.
And that would be a quorum.
That would be a quorum. So would it be appropriate at this point, before we move on to further new business, to go back and have a vote on the meeting minutes?
Yes, as corrected. Yes.
Okay. All right. Very good. So, Commissioner France, again, thanks for being here. You should have received a copy of the meeting minutes prior to our meeting here today. Did you have any questions or comments about those meeting minutes?
I do not, but thank you though.
Okay. Thank you very much. There was one amendment that was brought up very quickly at the bottom of page 4. Councilor Carpenter brought up that we should, there's a reference to the Parks Conservancy, but she pointed out that that should read the Parks Commission, that the Friends of the Park is not going to be worked through the Parks Commission, so it should be changed from Conservancy to Commission. So that was the only amendment to the meeting minutes. So that said, with the one amendment proposed by Councilor Carpenter, is there a motion to approve the amended meeting minutes for October?
So move that we approve the October meeting minutes with the correction on page.
Motion by Commissioner Smith. Is there a second? Second by Commissioner Fletcher. All those in favor, please say aye or raise your hand so that we can see you for those of you online. All right. Any opposed? All right. Very good. Then, I'm sorry. Was there someone trying to say something? No? Okay. All right. Very good. Then the amended October meeting minutes have been officially approved. Okay. I don't believe, looking back over the agenda, that we had any other items that required a vote. So with that said, let's continue on with our agenda. We were just hearing from,
Yes.
I'm sorry. Yes.
I just had one other thing to add on master plan.
Sure.
We have lost 2 members of the subcommittee on the master plan, and with Dustin Smith moving out of town and Abby also moving out of the city limits. So I would invite any of the new commissioners who have an interest in the master plan to contact me, and we can discuss what we do with the master plan group.
Very good. So,
Chair Bowie,
Commissioner Smith, yes, ma'am.
and I'm looking here at the bylaws. The appointment of committees in the bylaws state the chair of the commission shall appoint the chair of any permanent or temporary committee. And then the chair shall make his or her appointments within 30 days of passage. So the official business of the Parks Commission would need to be conducted in this meeting. So maybe additional subcommittee members would need to be appointed. It would need to be in this meeting, so.
Okay. All right. Did I see that there might have been a volunteer? Commissioner Cannon, you're volunteering to be a member of the subcommittee, master plan subcommittee. Okay, very good. For those of you online, Commissioner Fletcher has volunteered to be a member of the master plan subcommittee. Anyone else that wanted to be a part of the subcommittee, please speak now.
Hey, Matt, you can add me, Ben France, to the subcommittee.
Okay, very good. So we've got 2 new members right there to replace the outgoing 2. That's very good. Commissioner Smith, any further comments there?
Great, thank you.
All good? Okay, excellent, perfect. Thank you, Councilor Carpenter, for the clarification.
Can we go ahead and receive a motion to approve the new subcommittee members?
Oh, okay. I didn't realize we had to do that, but
No,
yes, we can certainly do that.
The bylaws do state, no appointment to membership by a committee chair shall be final until approved by a majority vote of the entire commission.
Okay, very good. Let's go ahead and do that. So Commissioners Fletcher and Commissioners France have volunteered to join Commissioner Smith on the Master Plan Subcommittee. So that being said, is there a motion to approve these two candidates for membership on the subcommittee, Master Plan Subcommittee? Is there a motion to approve?
I move we approve the appointment of Commissioner France and Fletcher to the Master Plan Subcommittee.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Motion by Commissioner Smith. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, we've got a second by Commissioner Ellis. All those in favor, please say aye or raise your hand so that we can see you online. All right, any opposed? None opposed? All right, very good. Thank you again, Counselor, for keeping us in line on that front. All right, so we do have the two new members added to the Master Plan Subcommittee. So Commissioner Fletcher and Commissioner France. Very good. Okay. I think we're ready to now move on for a new update this month on projects with ARPA and bond funding. So we're going to turn back over to Director Couch for an update there.
So just as a quick promise to follow up on these ongoing funding efforts and projects. So for ARPA, it's again, the funding is focused on our community centers, ball field at West Central, and our senior facility. So currently, I'm in the process of selecting engineers and architects to fulfill the designs and the needs for those facilities so we can get an understanding of what costs are. And at a certain point, we can share some of that information, but that's what's going on. And I see that probably going on in terms of finalizing those contracts and everything throughout the remaining parts of this year. In regards to the bond funding, obviously that money is not coming or realizing until beginning of next year. We're currently finalizing all of our input that we've received from citizens. Staff has put together a nice list of those. I'm reviewing those and putting in budget figures and looking at all that and seeing where that will end up. And it looks like we'll be going back to the public potentially at the first of the year to discuss some of those potential projects. So that's kind of our updating on all of our funding packages there, which are still really exciting to me that we have those opportunities. The last item on my list is the zoning. This is relatively something new for the commission. I mean, this is something that the commission is responsible to be informed on. And so I just haven't brought anything like this to the commission before. So the process here is for, I am in the process of trying to rezone some city property from R2 to PR. The Park Commission in here, this presentation is for informational purposes so that y'all can understand where the department is headed. So if we can switch over to, Terrence, I guess you can switch over to the presentation. So if everybody can see the presentation, is there any way you can make it any bigger? Okay, so everybody I think can see it on their screen. That is actually War Memorial Park. I know that doesn't look familiar to most people. This is actually the section of War Memorial Park that is south of I-630. Think of where the Children's Library is for cows. So it's the area between 630 and 12th Street along Jonesboro Drive. The area in green there is currently parkland, and it's been parkland and is zoned PR. The parcels to the left that are encompassing of the same size and space from 12th up to 630, those parcels there were purchased some years back because of the sale of Waywinder Field. We took that money over there and we purchased some houses. Recently, in the last couple of years, we finished all the demolished all the houses. And so at this point, it is my effort to change the zoning from R2 to PR. So I just wanted to present that to the commission today. And just ask if there's any feedback on that today. So I plan on probably doing a few more of these as I've gone back through all the park property. There are some other little zoning here and there. And if it's in our master plan, we want to make sure that it's zone PR. So thank you for that today. If there's not any questions, we'll move on to the next.
So before we move on, I wanted to make sure that our commissioners who are with us in virtual capacity, you all should have seen that map, and you should still be able to see the map. It's one of the images that's showing up on the view layout. Did any of you have any questions for Director Couch?
I think I'm having user error with WebEx, so I didn't catch it, but the audio version was great.
Thank you.
The map is a little small, but I can view it.
Yeah. Okay. Good. All right.
Is
Yes.
there already a stated plan for that? I know it's been green space for quite a while. I mean, ever since we've been thinking about library, it seems like.
That's a good question. So there are some previous proposals so backing up a little bit, there was an RFP submitted through Parks for a small area of a 3.5 acre area of that for potential development. And so that is ongoing, and I can share more information on that in regards to that. But this is a process to get through the clarity of what is actually listed as park and not park, I guess.
Any other questions for Director Couch on the ARPA bond funding or zoning? No further questions? All right, very good. Thank you, Director Couch, for that update. Much appreciated. Really nice to hear about that zoning information. Thanks for bringing that to us today. All right, very good. So next item on the agenda under new business is the upcoming meeting in December. It is currently on the calendar for December the 14th. However, our Parks and Rec staff have meeting conflicts that particular day. So for the commissioners, let's perhaps open up some discussion on moving the December meeting date to a new date. So if you all have your calendars handy, again, it's currently scheduled for December the 14th. I think there are really perhaps maybe two options. One's going to be a little bit more preferable than the other. The first and probably more preferable option would be to move the meeting from the 14th to December 21st, which is 1 week later. Now, granted, that's a few days before a major holiday, but that is a possibility. The second possibility for changing the meeting date would be to meet either on, say, Tuesday the 13th or Thursday the 15th. So wanted to throw those dates out there for the commissioners. Any discussion around that? Any deal breakers there for any of you to maybe let's have some discussion around moving it to the 21st. Are there any of you who are not able to meet on the 21st?
I guess from my standpoint, what's the easiest for Leland and your staff? I mean, is 21st a lot of people out because of the holiday coming up?
It's potentially that, and I mean, we might have a little, but it obviously the 14th doesn't work, and if we want to continue to have the meeting, then the 21st is a good.
That's good for you guys.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't rather you guys drive it to make sure the folks are here that give us updates.
It can work.
Commissioners that are with us online, anybody have any difficulty making the meeting on December the 21st?
The 21st does work for me, so I can do that.
Okay. All right.
Works for me as well in France.
Okay, then it sounds to me that we have some consensus here. So let's go ahead and perhaps look for a motion to move the December meeting from December the 14th to December the 21st. Is there a motion to move the meeting, please?
That we set the next meeting date for the Parks and Recreation Commission for December the 21st.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Commissioner Smith. Motion made. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Eldridge. All those in favor, please say aye or wave your hand so that we can see it. Commissioner France, we've lost your video. Are you still with us? Okay, we've got you there. All right, very good. All those opposed? Okay, very good. Thank you for that. We will look forward to having the meeting on Wednesday, December the 21st. It will still be here at the center at University Park for those of you who are able to attend in person. Speaking of attendance, and I'm going to go off the rails just 1 second here. I do want to, since we do have 6 of us here today, I know we're missing 4 others, but with regard to attendance is very important, and I do want to call everyone's attention to the information that is contained in our bylaws. And Counselor, keep me honest here, but in terms of attendance for our commissioners, the rules do state, or the bylaws state rather, that commissioners are required to be at all the meetings, and if a commissioner or a member has missed more than 25% of all regular meetings in one calendar year, or more than 3 consecutive regularly scheduled meetings, then according to the bylaws, the member is automatically removed from the commission. And then the commission will take steps to certify with the city that we have an opening and to fulfill that opening as quickly as possible. So we are going to do a better job of trying to keep attendance. And I know that we all have very busy lives and whatnot, but please do keep that in mind as we get towards the end of the year and start the new year coming up. Please do remember the attendance policy. Was there any did the social, not the social, but did it was a social outing. Did that happen?
So we didn't have that on our agenda, but since we have a few minutes, I'll use this opportunity. So we did have a social at Hill Station. I appreciate everybody that attended. We had a good attendance and good visitation, and I think everybody got an opportunity to kind of do a more informal meet and greet and had an opportunity to kind of just discuss things at large. And so I appreciate it. And in fact, even got some feedback that people were interested in doing maybe another one sooner than later. So we'll maybe discuss that first of next year. So I appreciate that. It was a good time.
No, that sounds great. Thanks, Director Couch, for that. All right, moving to the next item on the agenda. Well, quite frankly, agenda items for the next meeting. So,
Chair Bowie,
Yes.
may I please, on our
Yeah.
rescheduled meeting, we do have a bylaws provision on that. You know, that the commission voted to reschedule the meeting to December 21st. The Parks Department, the bylaws do say, provide at least 5 days notice of the rescheduled meeting to all commission members, to the Parks Department, and to the Little Rock Public Relations Manager for Freedom of Information Act notice. I know that I spoke with the Parks Director, Couch, regarding this, and I quoted at least 2-hour notice, and that's for special meetings. However, and that's a good guide to have. The bylaws of the Parks Commission do say provide at least 5 days notice. So I'm making that correction to Director Couch. So,
Okay, so just the correction is that we need to put a notice out to the general public 5 days
5 days,
from before the 20, or
yes.
Okay.
20, yeah, yes.
we'll just do it as soon as possible if that's
Yes.
okay. Okay.
All right, very good. For great clarity, we're going to put a notice out to ensure that everybody, including the general public, is aware of the new meeting date in December. Okay, agenda items for the next meeting. Commissioners, any agenda items that we need to add for the December meeting?
Matt, I'd like to add, just kind of looking ahead for the golf tournament. I have a new proposed date and some other sponsorship opportunities that I'd like to discuss with the commission in December.
Great. Thank you, Commissioner Eldridge, for that. Very good. We will have that added to the agenda for next month. Discussion around the golf tournament that is held annually and sponsored by the Parks Commission. Any other agenda items to add? Couch, any agenda items to add? Okay, very good. Board liaison feedback is the next item on the agenda. We do not have either of our city board members here today. So unless you had any, did you have any feedback from them that
Did
needed to
not.
be passed?
I heard
Yeah.
from Director Peck. She was not able to make it due to her other business requirements, and I have not heard from Director Wright.
Okay. All right, very good. So then next item is quickly recapping. So here we are, next meeting, again, Wednesday, December 21st. December 21st. Please update your calendar. It will be held here at the Center at University Park at 12 p.m. noon. Please, if you can, be here in person. We'd love to see your smiling faces in person if at all possible. Okay, very good. With that said, we have reached the end of agenda. Meeting adjourned. Thanks everybody for being here today.